What is going on, guys? It's Adam aka Marf. Today's show is going to be amazing. We're going to talk about, of course, Russia, Taiwan, the alien report actually kind of coming out. We'll talk about that. The preliminary report basically tells us, well, we'll get to that in just a second. We'll be right back. All right, what is going on, guys? It's Adam aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that, of course, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. The number today to call is 224400-MARF. If you do want to call, you would want to get in early. Just a reminder, you can actually go over to NordVPN and get a huge savings if you use our code. Today's show is brought to you by them. So again, marfooglenews.com/VPN. If you've never been here before, we actually have all of today's videos, all the tweets, all the documents actually bibliographed over on our website. So if you do not know, where we get something, you can always go here and you'll see that we actually back up everything we say, or we at least try to. Again, if we say something that's opinion or otherwise, we will make sure to clarify that. If you click this, you will actually see that we have every single article here. On top of that, we have a whole plethora of actual content just for your viewing. Again, website only content for Too Hot for TV. There's a lot of stuff that is just absolutely nuts right now that are getting people basically deleted off the internet. So that is there. Just to, also one more reminder, go to the same website to get push notifications. A lot of people are not getting notifications. If we do an earlier show like this, you will get notified. All right, let's bring in Dex, my co-host / internet brother. What is going on, Dex, and how are you doing today?
Oh, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So Dex will be manning the phones at 224400-MARF. That number will be scrolling down below on this black line. And then again, thank you for the 1,000+ people that have already popped into YouTube, and D-Live is actually getting to that point as well. Thank you, Shirley Wilhite, Bart Keck, Michael Mallet, Jesus Breaks Every Chain Ministry, thank you for subscribing. Monkey Bully, Ram, Res Media, Nicole Loves Jesus God, T-Waz, Shane Phelps, Kimberly Fine, and A-Team. Thank you so much for subscribing. Everybody that is new here, again, thank you, and I appreciate each and every one of you that watch these. So, let's get right into the news. Let's see here. Hold on here. Okay, good. I thought we were stuck on a repeat, but again, I forgot we actually did not do a full report on this. So again, 111 degrees forecast in Portland as life-threatening heat looms. Just an update on this. The heat is getting worse. Yesterday, it was really bad. I saw a couple of people say, oh, you're whining, it's 90 degrees. Here in the Northwest, when it gets hot, it is a whole different story because we are not used to the heat, one, but two, nobody owns air conditioners here, or the people that do, they do it for every 3 or 4 years when it does get extremely hot. It is already extremely hot. I was actually planning on doing an earlier show than this because of how hot it is getting. We had to go out and get another air conditioner and one from a family member that we actually gave them because we just never used it. That ended up being a regift because it is so flippin' hot here. You can't even think straight. Again, if I make any flub ups today, it's because one, it's a live show, and two, it is like 150 degrees in my brain and SpongeBob is bouncing around. Connie Cashola, thank you for just subscribing a minute ago. Jovian Squad, Cat Stevens, and everyone else who joins today. Yeah, I just can't tell you. It is seriously a blessing to have all of you pop in, especially, just in the last month or so. We've had just a real hard time on almost every other platform, so thank you so much. So all the heat is happening. I expect that we are going to see, obviously, fires, and I hope it does not get as bad as last year. Last year was so bad you could not drive. You couldn't see 10 feet in front of you. It was the worst thing that we've ever experienced here in the Northwest. I've lived here my whole life. It was horrid. It was unhealthy to the point where, you breathe for 10 minutes and it's the equivalent of, stepping in a nuclear plant for, 10 days. It was horrible. And then, so everybody is talking about a few things here. We're going to get into, of course, Taiwan is basically saying their main people are saying that to get ready for war. You have Russians saying this. You've got engagements going on. Is it something to kind of get our attention off? I'll actually talk about that here in a minute. I think that there's multiple things going on right now. There's distractions, but there's also some real things. So we'll get into that. Snowden says after McAfee's death by suicide that Assange could be next. Now, already I've been seeing the hashtag in my chat even basically saying Julian Assange didn't take himself out, right? We all know that hashtag from EpiPen. And right now something is happening where all of Twitter is talking about Assange, and now actually there's a lot of things happening. Moving, we've got representatives and senators and things like this talking about Assange's fiancée. So we have an article here about that. Basically, Snowden is predicting that because McAfee, one of the antivirus, original founders of McAfee antivirus, was, taken out in jail, or, they say that he took his own life, that this would happen next. That Assange, another person who knows a ton of information that has been on the run or been imprisoned, would go next. What do you think? Do you think that this would happen right in front of us? How obvious would that be? Personally, I think that after EpiPen and after, of course, a lot of the other stuff that's happened, I don't think that they would care that it would look like that there would be no way that anyone would think it was a coincidence, right? I honestly think it's to the point where if things happen like this, they just don't give a crap if, people are wondering if it's, the odds 1 in a million that this would happen after everybody's talking about it. And then it does happen. That could happen. You would think that they would say, well, now everybody's talking about it, so it won't happen. I honestly, that's something that I don't believe even matters anymore. And then Assange's fiancée is urging, let me try to get this right here, Biden to free WikiLeaks founder to show U.S. has changed. Dex, I know that you're going to be on the phone, but if you want to pop in at any time on this, I know that we were talking about this before the show. And again, once you're off the phone, you can chime in even if we're on the next one. It says, June 25th, President JB must let Julian Assange go free if he wants the United States to become a beacon for a free press once again, and put the legacy of DT behind it, the fiancée of WikiLeaks founder told Reuters. I like what they did there. So she actually used DT and said, he did this, so you have to undo this. I would not be surprised if this puts a ton of pressure. They're like, yeah, well, if DT did it, we have to undo it. It says Washington has sought the extradition of Assange over this role in one of the biggest ever leaks of classified information, accusing him of putting lives in danger and releasing vast troves of confidential U.S. military records and diplomatic cables. He has now spent 9 years in jail and self-incarceration in Britain, and both Assange's fiancée Stella Morris and the British judge overseeing the extradition request have warned he may not survive the process to send him across the Atlantic. So that's kind of that's something there. It says if Joe B really wants to break the T-Man legacy, then he has to drop the case, Morris told Reuters in an interview. They can't maintain this prosecution against Julian while saying that they defend a global press freedom. When Obama served as president and JB was his vice, the U.S. decided not to seek Assange's extraditions on the grounds that WikiLeaks did what was similar to journalistic activities protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution. Weeks after taking office, T-Man admin officials stepped up the public criticism of Assange and later filed a series of criminal charges accusing him of participating in a hacking conspiracy. It says the U.S. Justice Department said in February that it planned to continue to seek the extradition of Assange to face hacking conspiracy charges. So this is quite confusing because I know that people's loyalties lie in different places. So did they have good reason to grab him? Was there something that the public doesn't know about that makes him a bad guy? Now, Dex, are you off the phone? If you can, pop in on this, because I think you had some pretty interesting things to say about this as well. And no, it looks like we have Dan on the phone. I'm sorry. Looks like we have a phone caller on there popping up. So we'll get back to you, Dex. I think that you guys should hear Dex's opinion on this, but again, he can pop in here in just a second. It says that Widow seeks thorough investigation into the John McAfee death. So his wife is actually saying that there is something up with this. The British-American tycoon who died in a Spanish prison this week while awaiting extradition to the United States on Friday demanded a thorough investigation of his death, saying her husband did not appear suicidal when they last spoke. Instead, authorities in Spain are conducting an autopsy on McAfee's body, but said have everything at the scene in his cell indicated that the 75-year-old killed himself. By the way, he did not look 75, and he was very active. Imagine being in a Spanish jail at 75, just period. I'm surprised he was able to last in there. He must have known people or had some sort of hookups. I heard that in that same jail system that if you know people or if you have money or if you're able to pay people off, that you can actually have a very comfortable life there. He was obviously online. He was on Twitter. Why he wouldn't want to go back to, I guess, an American prison. That would be reason. One thing that is going around, of course, all over Twitter is people are looking at flight logs and things like this and military planes flying around the area. I'm not going to go into that, but I will say there is some stuff in the, of course, 2 Out for TV on marfooglenews.com. You can look at that. I think that everybody should look at basically everything and make a decision on them, on their own behalf. It says his last words to me were, "I love you and I will call you in the evening." Janice McAfee told reporters outside the Bryans II Penitentiary northwest of Barcelona, where she recovered her late husband's belongings. She said that she spoke earlier on the day and that he was found perished. Those words are not the words of somebody who is going to take their own life, she added, demanding a thorough investigation in her first public remarks since the software entrepreneur's death on Wednesday. What do you think? I know that we've gotten plenty of emails pointing out the different things, especially, flight logs. People say extracted, all of this. This is going to cause a huge kind of ruckus in a certain niche of world. And again, I think for good reason.
Also, we gotta worry about, is there something going to come out now, right? Did he have something set up?
So a lot of people think he has kill switches. Dex, as far as Snowden and Assange and Wiki, and then, of course, what is going on with McAfee, what do you think about all this?
Well, it's certainly, they're all kind of connected in the way that they have all sort of been outspoken about certain deep topics, if you want to call them that. And they've done their fair share of doing exposés. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that they are not targets, right?
Yeah, no, and of course, anything that would happen would look like an accident. You could even, one thing that I would say is to look throughout history and look at some of the accidents that have happened that are now declassified. It's pretty crazy the lengths that they've gone. We've even seen plane crashes, entire planes where 200 other people were taken out at the same time, because they had to make it look like, something else. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but I am definitely scratching my head on this one. And even finding out that his wife said that he would call that night, you would think he would say something more kind of epic if he was, if he knew he was planning something. He would have said, I love you more than anything in life, or, say some sort of amazing last words, not, hey, I'll give you a call back in a little bit. I don't know. What do you think? Dex, it looks like we did have a caller. Do you have a caller on the line?
I'm working on it.
Okay. We'll get them on here in just a second. First off, though, I do want to remind everybody, if they do want to protect themselves against an EMP, I would highly recommend going over and checking EMP Shield. Our shows are brought to you by, of course, affiliates like this that help us in a way that nobody else can. Again, when you guys purchase this product, they basically give you a giant discount and help us out at the same time. That's a really hard thing to find for somebody like us that cover the topics that we do. So this company is not only working with agencies like DOD, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, helping protect against electromagnetic warfare, but they're also on the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. This is Keystone military-tested equipment. Again, this is an awesome, awesome product. Anybody that is in the Foogle fam that already has it knows. But check this out. There's even a cooler thing right now. On top of our $50 off per device, there is the Mission America sale going on, which is an additional $30 off per device. That combines with ours. Any sale they ever do combines with our sale. That is something that they offer us because we were one of their first affiliates. If not, I think we were their second affiliate. Now they've grown. After the government contracts kicked in, it was just like, boom, they blew up. And of course, we didn't even know if they were going to keep selling their products to consumers because of all of the official work they were doing. This, again, is something that can actually protect you against all three phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3. I highly recommend it. We've been telling you why we think that we will have an issue with this, and we've shown you proof of why everyone is preparing for this except for the people. MarfoogleNews.com/EMP to buy an 100% American-made and veteran-owned business product here. So thank you. All right, Dex. When they come in, you can just pop them in. It looks like we have... I can't see their name on here. If you want to call,
I'm still working on Adam. Hang on.
That's all right. If you want to call in 224400 it looks like we did have an issue on the phone and it's now resolved. Again, 2244006273 is the number you want to call. It's right down there. Both the letters and the numbers are down there if you just wait. All right, and then Russia warns Britain it will bomb ships next time it sees it. Russia warned Britain on Thursday that it would bomb British naval vessels in the Black Sea if there were any further provocative actions by the British Navy off the coast of Russia. Russia annexed Crimea. Remember, Russia actually took that land. Britain went through and they said this is freedom of travel. This is freedom of international waters. They went through. Russian ships basically surrounded them. They even had jets flying in, and they were doing a bunch of maneuvers. They even shot live fire in front of their boat, which was, of course, received by the British Royal Navy as dangerous. They said that you're putting both of our lives in danger. We played that video on yesterday's show. If you actually go to that show, you can see almost the entire video of the altercation, including the jets flying in, the live fire at the very end. That's all on there. If you want to go to marfooglenews.com, just go to the last video before this and you'll see that. I believe it almost kicked off is what the title is. It says Russia summoned the British ambassador in Moscow for a formal diplomatic scolding after the warship breached what the Kremlin says are its territorial waters, but which Britain and most of the world say belong to Ukraine. Britain said... Don't know why it's doing that. Britain said that Russia was giving an inaccurate account of the incident. No warning shots had been fired and no booms had been dropped in the path of the Royal Navy destroyer, the Defender, it said. So we saw video of them shooting something, but again, this could have been a very clever, a clever angle here because, Dex, I don't know if you saw it, but I saw nothing in front of the ship.
Well, the BBC reporter that was on the ship confirmed that they heard the fire. And I think they even said that they were tailed by like 20 planes. So
why are they denying it?
I don't know why they're saying that.
We saw the fire, but I don't remember. And I'll have to go back to that
video. I think
video.
they're trying to minimize it and say it really wasn't a big deal because the fire was far away. It was a tiny ship. If we really thought it was a threat, we would have, been able to take care of it, et cetera. And they were just trying to not let, Russia pump it up to be more than they think it is.
Well, did you see the cannon that it went out of? If somebody knows about it and somebody watched yesterday's show, I know there's a military buff that knows exactly what size that is. I mean, it was about this big around, and that's huge for something, but it's not huge for taking out what is it, a Arleigh Burke class kind of destroyer type thing. The thing was this big around, so I don't know what millimeter that is. if that's 150 millimeter or whatever. I don't know how the cannons work, but it wasn't one of the huge ship cannons that shoot out, a person-size, missile. It was kind of like it was some sort of artillery shell or water artillery. If you know what that cannon
and presumably it was a Coast Guard ship too, so it wasn't like another destroyer, going after another one, right? It was really a smaller ship.
Yeah, but when they zoom in on the binocular view, who is that other ship? Was that an actual? Because that looked like an actual military ship. Was that them zooming in on the British ship and them using their binoculars, or?
Yeah, I think that was the British ship. That was the Brits that were sitting out with their binoculars, looking outside, watching.
They're looking at a bunch of little ships and saying like, yeah, but the jets flying in kind of changed the tone there. All right, and then. Thank you, Woodsmere, for going over to PayPal during the show. It says, stay cool, man. And then Kimberly W. says, safety is found in Jesus. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Kimberly W., and I appreciate you. And seriously, thank you for being here with us. And then Stephen Wilkes, thank you for subscribing. All sorts of new people here. Kenneth Anderson, welcome to the Foogle fam. Make sure to welcome any of the new subscribers I talk about. Dana D, thank you for subscribing. Texicali, stay cool out there. Just got through working in these Dallas, Texas attics, 140 to 150 degrees, fixing AC units. Stay blessed, fam. Texicali 74, that sounds horrific. I would not be wanting to be the guy that goes in and fixes those. Kim Brower, thank you so much for your support. You can always write a comment there if you want. Sherry Carroll says, the Foogle fam, they're here, and they're there, and they're everywhere. Homesteading in the Heartland says, was going to call in tonight, but busy with the kids and bedtime. Sent you guys an email of live I did last night regarding magnet info from Mammo Radiology appointment. I'd love to see it. Skywatcher Missouri 417, thank you so much for subscribing. Kayleen Joy, Connie Casola, and then Rita Mitzenwell, thank you and welcome. Over on D-Live, I just want to say a special thank you to Zippy Moons. Yesterday at the very end of the show, you actually showed support and you said some very nice things. I did not get to those, so I do apologize. I'm sorry I didn't see those at the very end. There was a couple people that did really amazing stuff right there at the end. Lisa K23, hot show. Happy birthday to my awesome prepper Uncle Larry, says Johnny Fry Guy. So a shout out to Uncle Larry. Scooby-Doo right? Nana Deborah's here. We've got Jimmy Shively, says ice water behind your fans in a big bowl. I think I tried that last year, and because of the smoke, we couldn't do it or something. Bite it with creepy, says Defrustrated. Quantum Cat says, good night, family. Johnny Fry Guy, we are in some serious stuff. God bless all. And then Zippy Moons, what your comment was cat and mouse. If that was America Plastic Bags or New Lightning, would have buzzed the decks quite low. Speaking of the video from yesterday that we were just talking about. Sounds like the world is in some deep stuff, Global Impact said. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for sticking with us. Russia launches drills in the Mediterranean amid tensions with UK. So on top of everything that just happened, now they're launching more drills. On top of 35 miles off of the coast of Hawaii, sinking a fake aircraft, or a real aircraft carrier, but they basically boomed it and sank it. Now they're doing more drills. I don't think it could be more clear. Dex, feel free to pop in, because I know we're going to be talking about Taiwan here in just a second, and NATO, all saying that we are going to conflict. It says, the Russian military conducted drills in the Mediterranean Sea on Friday amid tensions with the United Kingdom. The drills included 2 MiG-31 fighter jets that can carry hypersonic missiles going after targets from a Russian airbase in the Associated Press reported. Other military regions in the region involved 2 submarines, long-range Tu-22 M3 boomers, and multiple warships, according to the AP. The drills reportedly began while there was a British carrier strike group in the area. The UK and Russia have been at odds this past week over a British ship traveling in the waters near Crimea, which Russia claims as its own, but most other countries declare belongs to Ukraine. It says that Russia said that it fired warning shots at the British vessel in the Black Sea. Of course, we talked about how Britain disputes that claim, even though again, the BBC reporter that was on that ship said that he heard those shots and that they were tailed by 20 some planes. It says while obeying, it said that UK said it would not be intimidated while obeying international law, which if you saw the video, they stuck to their bang bangs, so to speak, and they didn't. They said, we're not going anywhere. We're going to keep going. This is innocent passage. We should have no problems there. Although since yesterday, I know people that are former Royal Navy that said they were trying to stir something up, and it's this back and forth thing that they do. They purposely went that way instead of what this person said is that there's multiple routes to avoid that route. They were going on that route on purpose to push the boundaries of that. And it looks like they most likely did it to monitor these drills that they're talking about. I believe that. That doesn't sound crazy. This is kind of like when the Spratly Islands were, they started building the Spratly Islands, China did, and when any plane or any ship came near, they would get on the radio and say, this is China. You have to get the hell out of here. And at that point, there were no islands. There were no there were no Spratly Islands, or there wasn't the islands that are there now, which basically China took dirt from the bottom of the water and created islands out of nothing. Then they turned those islands into forward operating bases and airfields, basically a halfway point between here and the U.S. So before they built that, though, they said, you can't come here. This is China. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? That's bull crap. This is the ocean. We can go right through if we want to. It seems like Russia is doing that same thing with this section of water. Seems like they are most likely, it seems like they're going to take more, which would make sense if China is going to take Taiwan and Russia is going to take the rest of Ukraine. It says Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Major General Igor Kushenikov said that the United Kingdom should not tempt fate and that its vessels are just a juicy target for the Black Sea's fleet missile systems, according to the AP. This almost reminds me of like Jake Paul and some other idiot, about to fight for pay-per-view. It's like they always talk crap, but the one thing about Russia and China and the U.S. is they always do these quotes, and it is kind of theatrical. It's like I don't know how to put it. It's seriously like two fighters like, oh, I'll float like a butterfly, and he'll go down faster than you can say. We'll hit him with the left right, and they'll be down for the count. But then, of course, when it comes to the real fight, they get knocked the hell out. It says the Royal Navy will always uphold international law and will not accept unlawful interference with innocent passage, British Defense Minister Ben Wallace said. Almost sounds like it's the gentleman on the radio. That's exactly what he said. He said the same exact thing every time. He said, this is innocent passage. You will not stop us. Lisa K23, again, thank you. CPWs and Town says, great show. Thank you. Meat Puppet 007 says, Ashan should identify as not guilty. LOL. Yes, that might work. Smeagol, thank you so much for popping in. It's nice to see you again. And then Lisa K says, asking for prayers. Nephew 25 in ICU motorcycle accident. Lisa K, I'm really sorry to hear that. And again, I hope that anyone that does pray for your nephew. 25-year-old in an ICU accident. It always helps to have at least a first name, though. Jeannie F. Chandler, Bear Claws, thank you. Jem, Ed G. Whalen, Red Storm, thank you so much. Army Gina, thank you for sending out a Mafia badge. I appreciate that. And then we have NATO officials alarmed by China's shocking rise, predicts Beijing to soon be moving troops around. What the hell does that mean? Dex, if you want to pop in here, you can. The People's Republic plans to spend the equivalent of about $202 billion on defense in fiscal year 2021. In recent years, the country has developed and produced off a range of advanced missile systems, aircraft, and warships. Outgoing NATO Military Coordination Committee Chairman Stuart Peach, the alliance's most senior military official, has expressed concern over what he referred to as shocking. The shocking speed of China's military modernization efforts and its growth and growing diplomatic heft overseas to boot. It said it is quite shocking how quickly China has built ships, how much China has modernized its air force, how much of it has invested in cyber and other forms of information management. At least, not least, facial recognition, Peach said, speaking to the Financial Times ahead of the departure from his post on Friday. So, first off, we've talked about how fast China is building. China is a master of production. Now, people can argue about the quality of that production, but if you've seen some of the stuff that has come out of China in the previous years, even knockoff products of real products are getting better. And we're talking about these companies that would take, something mechanical or a mechanical part and they would knock it off. Since the last 10 years of Amazon, these manufacturing plants have upped their quality because they're selling so much. They're making money hand over fist selling things through Amazon. Amazon has actually helped them quite a bit. In fact, Amazon has most likely funded the next conflict. Dex, I don't know if you disagree with that, but if you actually see the stuff that they're pumping out, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I would agree, because there's so much that has come from China, from manufacturing, and all of the products that have been sold through Amazon, all of the knockoffs, and not even knockoffs. There's just so many people that go out and even when they invent something, they just invent it and run it over to China and have it mass produced, right?
And okay, so when I first started the show 3 years ago, and there's a lot of new people here, I talked about how they were mass producing ships. And that this was something that they were hiding, and somehow they were hiding it. And we had military groups back then in our Discord group, which again got taken down because of the amount of military in it. They were saying to us that, hey, that they're making ships like crazy. This is before anybody that's been here with me since the beginning knows that we called to the T that they were mass producing ships, and that we had no idea how fast. They surpassed the U.S. Navy by over 100 ships. They went from the second or third largest Navy in the world to the largest Navy in the world in a period of 3 years. It was like it went from behind to all of a sudden they have us beat by 100 ships. You don't make that many ships that fast, and you're not preparing to take over the world. I'm sorry. It's just at this point, I've said in the last few months, I'm not afraid to say it anymore. I think that we will have war. I was always afraid of what people would think, or that people will think, oh, he doesn't think that it's a distraction or this or that, or that they're all teammates or whatever. I don't care. I know what I know, and I know that I know we're going to conflict at some point. So I don't think it's right for me to tell people that it's not going to happen when pretty much anyone that is any position up in military knows exactly what's going on. It is super clear what they're posturing for, and it doesn't matter if afterwards, Xi and Putin and JB all shake hands. That doesn't matter to me. The military-industrial complex is just buzzing. They're making Raytheon and all these other companies are making missiles so fast that they can't even store them. They're storing missiles out in the parking lot in Raytheon, making them about every minute and a half. So what the hell is going on? I'll tell you. They are getting ready. I believe that China is going to take Taiwan, and I believe Russia is going to take Ukraine. If we don't step up, then I believe half of our government will flip the hell out. I believe half our government will start questioning, why are we not stepping in? Hong Kong was already, that was a different situation. They were supposed to switch over in 25 years, but things like that, they were pushing their luck. Russia tested the waters with Crimea. They're going to take more. Do you think anybody in Ukraine?
And they left everything there, right? Even with this recent thing, right? They were on the brink, and there was shelling and all sorts of stuff going on back and forth. They backed out and said it was just drills, but we're coming back for another round of drills. So we're leaving everything at the front line.
So if you remember, just a few weeks ago, they brought 150,000 troops, and they brought all of their tanks, all of their jets. And remember, these ones are the real ones. They can see them visually from the border. They've got all these inflatable ones, too, that they plan on using for decoys. Real equipment, again, placed there. and now they say they're coming back. So just keep in mind, around the 4th of July, big booms are easy to hide. I don't think it's going to happen in the next couple weeks or anything, but I would say that for the next, until it happens, I'm going to be, head on a swivel. And I'm not going to care if people call me a fearmonger or whatever. If it doesn't happen, great. We'll all have extra supplies. We'll all have extra stuff. And for the next storm that happens, or for the next cyber attack where we lose our power, we'll all be ready. It says the officer also pointed out to Beijing's network of, quote, large embassy footprints in countries around the world, saying many of them are now staffed with very large defense sections, often populated by general officers, and wondering what's it all for. What's it all for? It's like these are officials asking the same questions I asked 3 years ago. They're mass-producing ships, they're mass-producing planes, and they're doing it with our blueprints. So they're using our technology, and they're going to use our technology against us. Solar winds, which my personal opinion is I believe it was directly, China and even possibly parts of our own, people that helped that happen, that, created diversions while whole hard drives were taken out. Well, everybody's worried about some RV and all that kind of stuff. I think there's a lot to go around here. It says Peaches also complained about what he said was the growing strategic military partnership between China and Russia, saying in the course of his career, he has seen Russian-Chinese drills evolve from relatively minor operations to major exercises and training opportunities. He added, though, that he doesn't envision the current Russian-Chinese partnership to last forever, claiming that the two powers may clash over the Arctic someday. Stewart, a career Royal Air Force officer with the rank of Air Chief Marshal, stepped down from his post as chairman of NATO's Military Coordination Committee on Friday and was succeeded by Royal Netherlands Navy Admiral Rob Bauer. So as he steps down, he says he thinks it's going to go down. Dex, do you have an opinion on that?
Well, yeah, I think, the more and more we're seeing these leaders telling us that that it's a concern, it becomes, we've known it, we've said it, we've thought it, we've believed it, but now we're seeing it in the mainstream, right? They're pumping it out. They're telling us, whether it's, the leaders, in Taiwan, leaders in NATO, leaders all over the world are speaking out on this.
And people said that, almost everything that we've talked about here on the show, and it's because it's all of us, right? The audience contributes a lot to what we're talking about. All the stuff that we have been talking about, everybody said, oh, that's loopy, that's, loony. Then CV happened, and all of a sudden people started going, oh, crap. If you remember, we did shows about CV. We said, we even showed specific stats from the three-letter agency, the W. And we told you that they were putting out very odd stats, basically telling us how the whole world would be affected by the very, very close and soon coming demic, right? We told you that 4 months before CV happened. We have it time-stamped. It's in the records. You can go back to those shows. We also told you to buy regular masks. We said stockpile them. You're going to need them. Nobody believed us. We've been talking about this. Now, mainstream is catching up. Almost anybody you watch, and even people that I don't like, are most likely right. And it is incredible that most of you watch them instead of these other three-letter agencies. FOX, CNN, MSNBC, all them. That Chalky Gal, Linda K, Virtual Anna, sorry about that, don't want to virus Anna, that's a horrible thing. Red Storm, thank you, says, hey, Paul Esme, honest content, thank you for following. End is near, I appreciate your support there. And the Holiday Kisser, Lisa K, Thomas J, TJ. Okay, well, if everybody can, if you put it out there, if everybody can pray for Thomas James or TJ, that would be great. Elisa K, I am praying for you, and I'm praying for your nephew as well. I actually lost a cousin to a motorcycle accident, and he was a really, 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 really awesome guy. We almost lost we actually did lose another person to a car accident where seatbelt hit the side of his what do you call it? The part of your forehead. He just barely dinked it, but it hit right in the part of your forehead, or the side of your forehead. Temple. It hit him right in the temple, and he was just instantly gone. They said that he didn't feel any pain, though. But I just know, it's like, it's just, that's how fast life can grab you. Krell 1234585. Scooby Snacks, thank you. We've got like 5 Scooby screen names now. That's awesome. Scooby Doo right, Chaw Twisty, Jammer, thank you for gifting out stuff. You don't have to do that though. You're already working as a mod. Truth Wins, Bear Claws, and Army Gina. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you. Now we have Taiwan's foreign minister says we need to prepare for military conflict with China. So whether you think it's all for show, it doesn't matter. They really can sit up in their towers and let this happen. And I think people assume that they care if thousands or millions or even billions perish. In fact, there are certain events that have happened, even if you look in the last couple of years, that were horrific for the entire world, but yet they were able to sign a couple things, and then billions of dollars just flowed right into pockets, right into programs, right into laws, right into everything. So my point is, money can go into pockets over very horrific things. And again, they don't care. They don't care if it affects billions of people, or people lose their jobs, or don't work, or can't pay their bills, or get evicted. They don't care. China's escalating military intimidation of Taiwan shows the self-governed island, quote, needs to prepare for a possible military conflict. Taiwan's Foreign Minister Joseph Wu said in an exclusive interview with CNN. His warning came 1 week after the island reported the largest daily incursion by the Chinese military planes into Taiwan's self-declared air defense identification zone. The incursion by 28 Chinese warplanes, including fighter jets and boomers, did not violate Taiwanese sovereign airspace or international law, but was seen as a show of strength by China's People's Liberation Army. As Taiwan decision makers, we cannot take any chances. We have to be prepared. And then it says, when the Chinese government is saying that they would not renounce the use of force and they conduct military exercises around Taiwan, we would rather believe that it is real. And I'm only telling you this because a lot of new people don't know. China has an entire area. There's satellite images where they have actually reproduced a chunk of Taiwan down to the buildings, down to the layout, down to the streets, down to everything. And they're having specialist teams and general military drill taking it over. And they just keep doing it. They drill every possible scenario. You do that for what is the most probable scenario. They're taking Taiwan. I don't see there's a future without them taking Taiwan unless people step up. And then that would, if people do step up, that means WW3. If we don't step up, that means they take Taiwan. That will leave others to take, Ukraine, whatever else. Then basically we will be sitting down on our thumbs and saying, okay, just do what you want. Because China wants to be number one. There is no number two, number three in their world, in their culture, in the heavenly mandate of their culture. They have to be number one. And Xi Jinping, who has now made himself leader for the rest of his life, so at least as long as he's in reign, he needs to be number one. And he's getting old. Remember that. Xi Jinping is he's no young buck. Texas Rob 49, 13 months with Adam. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for being over on DLive for 13 months. That's amazing. Edgy, Whalen, and Bear Claws, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here almost every show. It says Wu, who has served as Minister of Foreign Affairs since 2018, was accused by Beijing in May of being a diehard separatist after remarks he made during a news conference that Taiwan would fight to the very last day if attacked by China. Stopping Taiwan independence is the necessary condition for maintaining peaceful cross-strait relations, said Zhu Fengelen, a spokeswoman for China's Taiwan Affairs Office. Joseph Wu has reportedly and arrogantly provoked Taiwan independence. We will take all necessary measures to severely punish such Taiwan independence diehards for life in accordance with the law. So Dex, when if they do take him, I believe they'll probably just take him out. They'll just end him.
Right, and it's interesting that correlation towards going after people that are fighting for independence, right?
They're literally saying, "Oh, if you want freedom and independence,"
right, and turning them into the enemy, turning them into the bad people.
Huh? It sounds familiar. Sounds like something that's happening. Everywhere. They're the enemies. Yeah. They're our biggest threat to the world. Is this when it's really not even a threat at all? Sorry, I don't know why I did the voice, but that's okay. All right, let's see here. Let me go over to this. Dex, it looks like you have Lenny on the phone. We had some issues earlier, but now let's get Lenny on. Condo collapses and pedestrian bridge in D.C. from truck. All right, let's get Lenny on. Oh, I wonder if this is the one that... Lenny, what's going on? You are live on Marfoogle News.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Make sure, if you can, Lenny.
Listen, this condo complex and the pedestrian bridge that collapsed in D.C., what I noticed is as soon as, because I'm retired and I scan YouTube videos, I'm subscribed to a bunch of people, and the first thing I noticed is everybody was jumping the gun as far as what the cause was. They're getting in on the infrastructure, the bridges not being safe and everything else. And it turns out that it looks like, okay, and your people can check this out. It looks like a oversized truck hit the pedestrian overpass on the interstate. Now, as far as the condo complex, everybody jumped the gun on that, and they were saying, well, the military did tests off the coast of Florida, but that happened days ago, testing the aircraft carrier when they let off an explosion in the ocean and everything. But YouTube creators have to be very careful not to jump the gun. And you guys, this is one of the reasons why I listen to you, because you guys have everything on your channel. You have everything on your website. You back everything up. And this is where the smaller creator has to be careful, because you're going to give a bad name to everybody else. Now, real quick, I want to stay on topic as far as Taiwan goes. Okay, Taiwan, when you're looking at the world right now, it's like playing that game board Risk. Okay, China has a long-term plan. Okay, they're very patient. They need to take Taiwan over, not only for the island, okay, the landmass of Taiwan, but if they take Taiwan over, they take over their production of all the electronic chips that are necessary for a lot of things in the United States. And what's happening is we're watching all of this unfold. Russia, at the same time, they're learning from China. You know what? Oh, okay. We can see what's going on. We need a long-term game plan, and they're following their own. But what you're looking at is a game board of Risk, and all of this is going to come to a head. All right, I'll stop talking.
Well, I just also want to make sure. I don't know. You've got some background noise. Make sure to turn me off in the background.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you talking, and it's delayed because of the show. But yeah, no, I agree with you. And as far as I actually said that, because when people take stuff like the collapse and they say it's this or it's that, or the people that are in the building, what ends up happening, I said it looks like traps. And then what happens is they do this massive sweep where it causes a huge apocalypse where everybody gets wiped out. So that's why we have to wait on stuff like that and actually look at it. And sometimes it is truth. So then a couple weeks later, you end up talking about it and you end up going. But people take stuff instantly, or they take documents. There's a document that's going around online, and I totally don't blame anybody that believes it because it looks real. It's a document that says that the UK is going to permanently lock down in 3 weeks. That's kind of hard to believe, but if somebody makes a document on WordPress or whatever, and they make it look legit, they pass it around, it goes viral. They get tons of followers, and then when it's fake, they go, I didn't know. I mean, it looked real to me. That's the thing. People are sharing those things, but then a lot of people get wiped off of Twitter. People get wiped out. People share that on their YouTube channels, and then those small creators, they never get anywhere. A lot of the YouTube creators in our circle have gotten all of them. They don't do what they try to follow my advice. Some of them don't though, and they've been deleted 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, obviously you can't. That's why people don't understand why we do the words we do. They don't get it. But again, we're still here, and we've grown on 2 channels. The other channel's almost to 200,000 subscribers. You have to play the game. Otherwise, you won't be in the game at all. What's the point of reaching 1,000 people, then getting deleted, then working for 2 years to reach another 1,000 people, then getting deleted? That's why I tell people there's just certain things you got to, you have to work around, because to talk soft is better than to not talk at all. So thanks.
Yep,
thanks for
I
saying
agree.
that.
I agree with you 100%. And just for your listeners' info, okay, United States helped out Japan after World War II to help them rebuild their economy. So now a lot of manufacturers here in the United States, what they did was, they were printing on their products made in the USA. Well, nobody wanted to buy stuff from Japan. So what they did was Japan started manufacturing products made in the USA. And if people look it up, there is a town in Japan called USA. And people were buying the products. That's how they got around it. But this thing with Taiwan, this is very serious stuff, because if Taiwan goes down and the manufacturing goes down and taken over by the Chinese and Xi Jinping, there's going to be problems.
Well, I agree with that. Lenny, I want to thank you for calling in. Again, I believe this is actually, you have called before. I appreciate you, and I remembered your accent right away. So thank you so much for calling again, and you're local from Washington, so that I really appreciate. I can't wait to talk to you again, okay? Don't be a stranger, all right?
Okay, thank you very much. And Dex, you're the best.
All right.
You're Marfoogle fans. You're great, too. Okay, we'll catch you later.
Hey, Lenny, thank you. It's great to have people like you out there listening, okay? Bye-bye. That was Lenny from Washington. I really do that. It's actually like pretty magical. I've told you guys before that my grandpa used to listen to Rush Limbaugh. Now, his relationship with Rush Limbaugh was one of hate. But it was a love-hate, because he listened every single day. He would scream at the radio like Rush Limbaugh could hear him, and then he would call in any chance he got. And I'm sure my grandpa got on a million times. He called in and he would yell at him and say you're an idiot and debate with him. But the cool thing about Rush Limbaugh is he would debate back. They would argue on air. I just love that we have, especially a lot of old school viewers and listeners, some that listen while they're driving trucks and they just listen to the audio. I appreciate all of you. Like if you're listening right now from your truck or from your warehouse or from work or from wherever, I seriously appreciate that you. It's an honor for us to be that spot for you. Like it's really magical. It almost brings something that, like I can't believe that we're somebody's Rush Limbaugh. Even if you hate to listen to us, you're listening every day. That's really cool. I know people that absolutely hate my guts, but they watch every show all the way through. Some even take notes. So I appreciate that. And to those people, it's like you can find as many problems with me as you want, but there's something about the show that you keep watching. All right, let's actually get Chaw Twisty on before we move on. We've actually got a pretty serious thing here. Let's see here. Yeah, let's get Chaw Twisty on. And I saw Chaw Money was in the chat. Chaw Money, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how are you? You are live on Marfoogle News. Chaw Twisty.
Hey, what's going on? Okay. So, just to throw out a big rabbit hole, look up 23andMe. One of the co-founders, I can't remember her name right offhand, but
is the sister
she has a sister that is connected to Google, that is connected to Gilly B, and Gilly B is obviously connected to Dr. F, and Dr. F is definitely connected to the CV place, and I just think it's very interesting.
Well, to be honest, like I knew about this a couple of years ago because the two most powerful sisters in the world, really, I don't even mention their names because they are the ones that are really running things here. There's actually two women running most of the world right now, and they both have that same last name. One is the head of this platform, and then one is the head of the gathering of that and connected with all of that. In fact, Forbes listed her as Anne. They listed Anne, we'll just say Anne, as one of the world's most powerful women. So, I believe she was number 93 in that list. So that's a huge accomplishment and a scary one.
I would be interested to see that how many people actually perished that actually took the 23andMe test. I would like to see that kind of committee formed. Once you put your DNA out there and you send it, and someone sends it to a lab that is, constructing a bio, I just wonder how many people perished that actually sent their DNA in.
Well, I would have to look into how that works, but one thing I will say is there's three. I don't think people know about the third sister. There's one 23andMe. There's one, of course, this platform, and then there's a third who is a epidemiologist. Janet is, but yeah, very powerful trio there. That the three sisters are all three extremely connected. Very oddly enough, it goes back to kind of WW2 and everything that happened there. So we'll probably talk about that on a D Live.
And then you got to go back and look at the father, who I think he was at UCLA. I think if I remember my reading right, and he did research on this kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, that is, again, this is something that it's kind of like these are the people that make you disappear. So, well, yeah, no, and what we'll do is we'll probably end up covering. I did not know about the third trio up until like a couple weeks ago. I knew about the duo. I did not know about the trio. So we'll probably put some information out about this, and I appreciate your call. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Just that I love this channel. I love the content, and I love you and Dex and all the mods. And let's go. Let's just keep it going.
By the way, I want to give an opportunity for anybody that, like yourself, that does end up going and doing some deep research. You could also, like anybody else, if you are a skilled or talented writer, or even not, and you really do some research and write an article, that would be something that we would love to put on our website. So I want to expand and have a lot more people writing their own articles from their points of view, just from random regular people that write, and then others could go through and read them, read other Foogle family members' thoughts. I think that would be a great thing. Well, thank you again. Thank you for calling. And again, we'll have to touch on this again. Probably on D-Live, though.
Yeah, definitely on D-Live. And it's definitely something that we should actually explore. And I talked to Dex about some stuff, and he's going to talk to you about some stuff. And we'll go from there and see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Cha Twisty, you have a great night. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out. And big shout out to Cha Money as well. So if they have a Cha before their name, they are from the Cha Money group, I guess. The Cha Money fam. So Cha Money is a creator that is really, 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 really positive. Almost every show he's laughing. He's just being funny. He's really one of the... I've never seen him down. I don't know if he's on lithium or what, but he's always happy. He's always fun. I guess that's my... You can't put him down. There's nothing negative I could say about the guy. So go check out Cha Money. He streams on D-Live. And then thank you for the support. I think he popped in. Oscar 2, Bear Claws, Scooby-Doo, right? By the way, I look for you. I actually type in Cha a lot to host you after the show. And if you're not there, there's not many people on D-Live anymore. Not that I can host. I mean, I've tried. By the way, I've tried to like host. There's a couple sweet-looking, women that aren't saying like F you or listening to rock music or whatever. And then I click on them and they end up being like, strippers or something. And I'm like, I can't put this on. So again, I try to host as many people as I can, but I can't just host like a Fortnite channel. I think I will. But, then I don't even know. Then the guy could be playing Fortnite and saying, F you, F this. It's like... it's a very cool system. D-Live has one of the coolest systems ever as far as like, imagine on YouTube, you're watching my show and there's 4,000 people in chat, and then I host another creator. So just since everybody knows who PewDiePie is, I could take you and I go, boop, and I host you and I actually show you PewDiePie. And it basically takes you and puts you looking at them, and you have the option to press one button and go right into their chat. It's an amazing thing. D-Live thought of it. D-Live did it, and it's actually one of the most amazing things. I have faith that I hope D-Live just really, for some reason, it has a miracle and just goes bigger than everything. But, we know how things kind of roll, and we'll see what the politics of it are. Army Ann, Army Gina, thank you. Edgy Whalen, Michelle K, Jem, Jeannie F. Chandler, Bear Claws. Thank you, everybody, commenting there. Watchwoman for Jesus says, Marv, thank you for confirmation. You're awesome. I gave Miami collapse building. I also gave Jack and Jackware is the new ransomware where they were using. You're awesome, Marv. Stacy is learning. Thank you for subscribing. Groove, Jimmy Hummel, Renee Lawson, thank you and welcome. Mark Webb, thank you for the support. Jason McCormick, thank you for the support as well. Thank you for the super chat. Tico and Taco, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out. J. Thomas Reset. Fight the Bailers. Thank you for subscribing. Kevman. Whoa. Thank you, Kevman. Kevman just dropped a $99 super chat. I really do appreciate that, Kevman. Thank you for going above and beyond. You are I believe you will be the top over on YouTube. So thank you so much. Thank you for supporting independent journalism, and we don't have a backup. You guys are our backup. So thank you. Especially when everything gets, demonetized, and then again, what ends up happening is they end up putting ads on it anyways because now they can. Ho operator, thank you, Marf and Dex. You guys need to talk to John Cullen or check out his information. I will definitely check it out. Ho operator, and then Andrus86 says WW3 innocents die, billionaires Davos safe. Gives illusion of conflict will secretly CCP, Russia, and us work together to implement Great Reset. See, that's what I don't disagree with that because it could be. They will be safe and sound and work together, but won't look any different to us. John Galletti. Oh, okay. So, John, that is actually the wrong way to go about that. We are extremely busy, John. So, again... about the solar systems, again, that's not how we work. So, John, that's actually not a good thing. So, John, please don't do that. Again, we actually, I called you twice and you didn't answer, again, from my wife's phone. So, again, don't comment like that. Watch Women for Jesus. I gave Taiwan a warning. Again, we actually, just to let you know, I'm going to still give you the time and stuff. We affiliate with stuff that we really truly believe in. I don't even know what you actually work with yet. So again, but it takes time. So thank you. Edward Light, Molly T. Again, thank you. Patricia Milano, April Lynn, Average Jeff Homesteader Prepper. Get your preps ready now. Seeds, long-term storage, food. Time is short. Ricky Wolf, Sean O'Toole, Hawk 62. Danielle, thank you. Ghostwriter, thank you for subscribing. Patricia Walsh, Richard Pittswell, thank you. Brandon Matthews, Rita Mitzensway, Kenneth Anderson, Dana D, all new subscribers in just the last few minutes. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody that shares this out on Facebook and all these different social media platforms that are just absolutely horrendous. Anna Trejos, thank you. Massive support from Anna Trejos. Samson's Animal House, William Lane, David Collins, Brad Alduis, Cal Angelosi, Victor Torjanis, and Kat Preston, Mac Duffin. You guys, amazing. I know that's because people are sharing, and it's absolutely awesome. Dex, there's a map from report predicting condo collapse reveals other Miami Beach spots at risk of collapse. So do they think that this will happen in multiple places, and will this kind of disprove some of the crazy stuff? Or
well, I think the caller earlier, Lenny, was spot on, and we sort of have to look at this and not jump to conclusions. And I don't think honestly, by the time somebody puts out a report, it'll be some sort of official report as to what happened or how it happened. And a lot of people are probably not even going to want to believe that. So in some way, shape, or form, we're all going to have to just accept the fact that we may not ever really know what happened here, unless there's just like a glaring, obvious, big, photographic evidence that just shows exactly how, what happened. But the evidence and what they're looking at now, we talked about it last night about the sinking. The building had been sinking over time. It was in a wet spot. Of course, it's right up against the beach.
But how does that make the rest of the building just... I understand the bottom of it and the foundation, but that's the one thing I don't get is just how it just whoosh,
Yeah, I don't know. But when a lot of times when you see those... maybe I'm probably talking out of place here, but my assumption is when you see a lot of those demos and they go down, they are taking the foundation out and then everything sort of comes down, and they do it strategically, right? In certain areas to make it go a certain direction so it doesn't cause a bunch of mess in, wherever it is they're trying to bring down an old building, right? So, if a sinkhole or it slipped or the foundation slipped under, it is certainly possible that it could go down in that fashion. In my mind, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a structural engineer, so I can't really say. But what's going on is they're looking at, the evidence from satellite imagery for many, many years about what the height of this land was and how it has gone down, and also the time period in which this building was built. And there's a lot of other buildings that are very similar and in a similar situation. And they're concerned maybe that, as a matter of fact, this building was on its 40-year inspection. So every 40 years, they have to do a complete reevaluation of the building to make sure it can actually still stand. And that year had passed last year. So this was the year it was going through that inspection process. So, what they've done is they've looked and they've identified a handful of other buildings, not necessarily next door, but along the coast in that area that have similar problems. And they're looking at that. The other unfortunate thing is there's the number of people that are still missing. It ranges anywhere from 99 to 159, depending on which reports you look at. And that's just devastating when you think about how many people might still, be under that rubble. And we won't know until they get it all cleaned up.
We saw people survive in, September of 2001. I think the longest person who survived, I don't want to say it and not quote it right. I thought it might... I wanted to say that it was 7 days. Does anybody, and if anybody in the Foogle fam, we could do that in the chat. Does anybody want to look up how long did the longest person survive in rubble in 2001? And actually, I think a great thing would be in general. I'm giving that mission to chat, Dex. So I know you could do it in 2 seconds. M mentioning. Thank you, just racing through tonight. Hi, all to the Foogle fam. Keep speaking truth, Adam and Dex. Thank you so much. Is that Prilby? Prilby 2001 says Florida condos was a sinkhole. Again, if it is truly a sinkhole too, the sinkholes have been creeping me out. That's like my worst nightmare, is sitting in my car in a parking lot and then just being buried alive. That is horrifying. Foogle fam for life. Can't wait. Can't we all just get along? Yes, we can. Money, I love it. Prilby, blessings to all. Stay cool. 13 months. Again, thank you. Jurley, Serenity, PA, and everybody there. Thank you so much for popping in. Whether it was a sinkhole or what, I just don't think that, I don't think that either way, it's a good thing. All right, let me pop over to the restream. I do want to see if anybody answered that. 24 hours, 30 foot of rubble, Jailbroke says. 27 hours, is that it? Let's see here. Somebody says 13 days at BBC News. How long can survivors survive in the rubble? Let's see here. 27 days is the longest someone survived. Who said that? Somebody said it's not a sinkhole. Jamie Howard. Great earthquake. Again, I'm not arguing whether it is or not. Everybody can have their own decision on that. They say it was all dilapidated. I haven't been there in person, so what I will say though, it is very, very sad that those people are, possibly in there or gone. Upwards of 150 people. That's incredible. Nick Cage survived a little while. Let's see here. Guy in Florida was sleeping with his whole house, fell into a sinkhole. Remember that? Yes, I do. I'm that guy, says the guy in Florida. That was incredibly scary. And that's what I said. That guy was sleeping in his bed, in his bedroom. And I believe in that case, it was just his bedroom that went down in the sinkhole. If that's not a sign from I don't know. A lot of people said that hell was literally snatching him up directly. Fed report finds UFOs may be security risk, have no single explanation. So we have the preliminary report, and it's a bunch of BS. Okay, first of all, we all kind of thought that it would happen. Dex, you thought it was going to happen. We all thought it was going to be like this. Oh, well, we don't really exactly have it, and we don't really know. Basically, this report is saying what we already knew.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we've got 140 something investigations, and all but one of them are unidentified, right? And there's only one they figured out was a balloon that was deflating, but the rest of them, they don't know what they are, and they're not saying that they're aliens, but they're not saying that they're not. And they're not saying. Then they've classified these categories, so they've created this new category classification. But that's about it. And they're not, it's a preliminary report. So obviously they could tell us anything they want to tell us. They could sanitize it as much as they want, or they could go into great detail, and they could do that at any time now at this point. I think they've sort of checked the box saying, hey, we did what we were told to do, which is come up with a report. But it's a pretty sanitized report saying, yeah, there's a lot of this going on. It's been going on a lot for the last couple of years. I wonder how that aligns with the Muamua. But we don't know what they are, and we can't tell you definitively that any of them are this. We just have these different classifications. And the one that we're all wondering about aliens is the other classification. So, because they're not going to use the word aliens or extraterrestrial or off planet.
Yeah. And this is a bunch of bull. Everybody waited so long for this, and then they come out and basically say absolutely nothing.
And by the way, they release it on a Friday. And for those of you that don't know the PR business, I've spent a lot of time in it in the past. Your biggest news when you want everybody to get eyeballs on things, it's Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday is really the big day. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If you have bad news or you want to bury something and you don't want anybody to know about it, you release it on a Friday, because nobody reads it on a Friday because it's a weekend. And come Monday, they forgot about it. So it's interesting that this is coming out on a Friday. And of course, it's, lackluster.
I mean, can you believe this? We've all waited for this thing to come out, and then when it comes out, it outlines what it is, and it's nothing. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. No single explanation for any of the appearances. Nothing. It's just absolutely what a waste of time. I think people should demand that they throw this thing away. What the hell was this? This was part of the CV relief bill. They put, how much tax money did they put into this, and they don't even tell us? They're hiding stuff. This isn't unclassified. This is BS. It's bull. That is just such a waste of time. It's such a waste of breath. Ugh.
But they are asking for more money so they can continue this. So now this becomes a new program that will get a lot of funding, or will be asked for a lot of funding, so they can continue to do this. But
yeah, so they can put the money
it'll be uncovered or
something
unidentified.
What do you say? What do you call it? It's a lot of money for whatever. They can put it to whatever they want and say whatever they want it's going to.
New slush fund.
Yeah, exactly. John Tyrell, thank you for subscribing. Bill I. Jean says, if you haven't, get the Chosen app. Best portrayal of Jesus ever. Thank you, Adam and Dex and Moz, for all you do. Lady T, stay cool. Soak your t-shirt in water. Put on wet. John Galletti says, didn't mean to tick you off. Oh, don't worry about it, John. I just gotta tell you that don't worry about it. Jackie Brown, again, we actually it takes time to do anything again, but we also had to check. We have certain things that we do in process. So again, we have to respond to thousands of people a day. Dex, how many people do you think you respond to on a daily basis?
I can't count that high.
Just you. And that's to the Dex at Marfoogle News. I have Adam at Marfoogle News. I have Marfoogle, and I actually responded to you. Again, I get to everybody back. I have to basically. I'm backlogged from November. I try to respond to emails. I try to respond to text messages. It's absolutely insane. Florida was going to. Okay, so BOD, one of our old school Foogle fam, BOD and her husband are amazing. Says Florida was going against the elites, and you could see the bang bangs go off as each section went down. And then Leon Van Wyck says, and again, it looks like free fall, right? Chessie says, Adam, did you see the email I sent concerning NK? Chessie, not yet. No, I did not. Geraldine Mazza, Steve Armstrong, Kelly Weems, Linda Frilling, and Anna R. Thank you so much for joining us. Mac Duffin, Kat Preston, Victor Taranis, Kay Angelozzi. I appreciate you. David Collins. I don't think I missed it. Oh, Total Vagabond says lots of love and respect. Kevman, again, thank you. You don't even have to do that. Thank you so much. And I believe I didn't miss anybody. Cheryl Carroll, got that. N95H Hero, by the way, was the last one out yesterday, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting Independent. Dex, can you explain what we have on, of course, the on the Too Hot for TV?
Absolutely, Adam. So there's some stuff on there. There's things on there about, John from the antivirus world that we can't even talk about. They're there. You got to go look at it. It's things that were posted and a lot of interesting things, a lot of interesting theories. Definitely some commentary from some big names like Tucker and Rogan. So definitely worth looking at there and seeing what they've had to say. Obviously, the bean counters or the accounting firms that are doing all of these counts still are making news in lots of different ways. So take a look. And then our current administration went down south. So go take a look and see what's going on there. So go to marfooglenews.com, click on the thumbnail, scroll down to web-only content. It's all the content that we can't necessarily talk about here, or it's two-sided, or we didn't have enough time to get to it. So go take a look. marfooglenews.com, click the thumbnail, web-only content. And by the way, last night had web-only content too. So if you missed it, go click on last night's show and scroll down.
So last night's web-only content will blow you out of the water. It was absolutely amazing. Chessie, appreciate you sending that. I will check for it. Again, if you do end up using Super Chat to say like, hey, look at an email, make sure to put something I can search for that email in that Super Chat. Because otherwise I will not be able to find it. Sometimes your name isn't the same as your email. Because if I just look for NK or, Korea, I'll have 10,000 emails. Okay. Thank you, everybody that's here. Again, it was an amazing show. I'm sorry that we had problems with the phone earlier. But again, there's a couple of callers this week and a couple guests that we might be having come in. We're going to talk to this one person who is an expert on something. She's been on documentaries, 8 different books. I believe 4 of them are available on Amazon. It's really cool stuff. All about crop circles and things. So I still have to talk to that person. Haven't found out too much more. And then we've got lots of things in the works right now. So thank you everybody that's stayed with us. Thank you for everybody that supported us tonight. I really do appreciate you. And it is now officially time for a shoutro. Dex, what is a shoutro again?
Well, it's not a shout out and it's not an outro. It's a shoutro.
It's where we say the credits to a beat. And the credits are you, because you guys make the show. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And again, we would be nothing without you. You are our backbone. Make sure to go to marfooglenews.com to check out the Too Hot for TV news. If you don't know about that news, then you're not going to be able to keep up with what we're talking about tomorrow or the next show or the next show. All right. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out.
You want to know what's going on? What?
Hey, Tessie on the BOD. I got the Billie Jean and the Lady T. A young girl lady, a boom bag and SETI. SETI fighting aliens, go and get it. You know, bring it back. We the Florida now. Gotta do it back. Gotta bow with it now. Got the bad dog. We the all the dogs. Samson's are. Animal House and the tray host, and everybody knows that these are wonderful people go. And the caveman, operator, and this 86. I'm gonna bring it down, gonna bring it down, gonna bring it down, yes, everybody gonna bring it down, gonna bring it down, oh yeah.
M to the A to the R to the F, M to the A to the R to the F, M to the A to the R to the F, Marfoogle News. M to the A to the R to the F. M to the A to the R to the F.
Got the Texas Ride 49. A government blows in the mines. And the MS sing and the Liz on W. Kid Kat, Skid Scat, gonna bring a big bag. A with the Pearl J and the Griff Lay. Do it down now like a Earth Desert Lay. I'm a 2020, Acapulco with John McAfee. Got to bring it back around, Johnny Wong now. 7 Ruby Rose, everybody goes now. Matrix 45 and that lady, Lady Lexi and the Swatch on the say that. Hey, Sunshine G and the J Farm too. And the Jim, they ain't new. Gotta bring it back on down. Got a Kev man, I'll bring it down now. Mr. Kev man, gotta bring it down. 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 Deep, damn. I bring it down, how you say it on. I bring I've been rating now. Mr. Kevin man and the Carlos, all doing it out of 112 now. I bring it down, everybody knows that we gotta go now. Yeah, we gotta go. Earth observer and the best fan, how that I could ever ask for. And look at one and the Jim and the bear claws. Hey, you got the Julie J. Hey, everybody really wanna say. Hey. Got the Michael Melody and the Monkey Boy. I've got the Ram and the West Media. I destroy Kimberly Freen and the XXA team. I say, gonna bring you down now. Paul Wilson, thank you for your support. Got the LG gig, gotta grab big. I'm gonna go down. Hey, with the unique genetics and now William Moore. I got the backwoods ingenuity and he's cool. I've gotta go see it now. Kenny Days and Heavy Cow. Susan Donahue. Veronica Castillas. I bring a real life on the news all gone now. Christopher Walker, Resurrection. Warrior Gardner, plays on Patreon. I appreciate you, Pamela, and Operator. I'm gonna say, we to go now. We've always gotta go. For the enslaved, I'm not on now. It's 1,000 years. I'm never going anywhere. MB Subaru WRX. I love the show. Thank you for useful information. God, I go now. Watch women for Jesus. I also gave a Jack, where is a new ransomware that they're using your other more. Bring it back down, I give it down. The MG's 86 and now I say I'm down. Bring it back down. Christopher Walker, I'm walking down the beat. Homesteading in the heartland and the ball will on. I say, gonna bring a Nolan here and everybody knows that. Hey, gotta say it down with the LG gig and I know you know. Hey, put up. Everybody on the Shelly don't see McAfee, he's alive. I sit down and I know it's gonna be alright. Got the major and the geographically free, gonna bring back down our sea. Lisa, gonna bring it down on night. I'll bring you down on night. Sally Eagles gotta go. And then show it's so nice to have you here. Got the duct tape 315 and the Ray Miscape hound and the master big chief case of car, a Wilson Nation Bob Dawes, and everybody goes right 13 and now you know.